Most damaging idea of the 21st century, the conviction of vast numbers of people that human history will end within our lifetimes. Climate change represents world-altering tragedy if unchecked, but not even in the worst-case scenario does it mean literally everyone dies. Yet so many people have jumped already to, it's over, the world is going to end, we can do nothing about it, and are just paralyzingly cynical. How do I explain that the power to imagine a future is essential for creating it? You know the thing where trauma can cause you to just not expect to live much longer, so when you get to 30, you don't know what to do because you thought you'd be dead by 25? That is happening to all of us right now on a society-wide scale. A lot of people are really angry at me for suggesting that be depressed and do nothing isn't necessarily the only response to climate change. This, and 700 other sources will tell you that most of the effects of climate change will be reversible, even if we pass the threshold of a 1.5 degrees Celsius increase in global temperature. But, even if the worst happens, it will be important to be doing things other than wallowing in misery. I'm not trying to be callous, but for people living today, it's wildly unlikely for the results to be literally immediate death. People will get displaced from their homes by rising sea levels. We have years, probably decades before that happens. It seems so fucked up to decide that we should do nothing because we've already decided they're going to die anyway. If a bunch of us are going to die, why not die trying to help each other? Why not try to make sure fewer people die? Why not do something that might reduce someone's suffering, or give them food or clean water or a place to sleep? I don't know how to explain to you that people need socks during the apocalypse. I keep recommending The Great Derangement by Amitav Ghosh because it is a very unflinching look at how culpable we are, not for having families or forgetting to use the right spoons, but for consistently choosing the luxurious delusions of apocalypses. People can lovingly envision 1,000 apocalypses, lavishly decorated by the pop culture we've gobbled down, but the reverse is not true, and we lack the imagination that is quite literally needed for the future, to the point where planning for the future is actively undermined by people at all levels, stating that it's unrealistic. We are at a turning point of human history where people are watching each other knock holes in a shared lifeboat because everyone knows that lifeboats are predestined to sink. It's considered unrealistic to imagine the prosperous and equitable future of the next generation because it doesn't match pop culture. We have actively given up our responsibilities of stewardship, literally the purpose of human existence, because Hollywood made it look hard. We are foregoing our natural bonds and our collective power because we agreed that our neighbors will probably turn on us. And when we look at the self-fulfilling prophecies and natural consequences of our behavior, pandemic, natural disasters, we claim it's evidence that we can't improve instead of addressing the poor behavior. Ghosh argues that one of the most radical and revolutionary things that we can do, and in the West, the foremost ethical thing to do, is to task ourselves with reprogramming our imaginations to something functional. In this scenario, everyone can participate in the work. Writers can literally take readers by the hand and heal them. People can lead and teach each other on social media. Unions can include it in discussions. Parents can teach their children. Children can teach their parents. And everyone can correct each other. Oh, and people who like boycotts and clout can start a movement demanding more imagination in media. I agree with this, and it has underpinned my work and activism ever since. I tend towards the conviction that humanity will survive and people look at me like I'm nuts. But it's easier to get shit done with this belief, and honestly, humanity will likely be here even if we don't like how it is. Why not work towards it being something we want? My mother keeps telling people she's so relieved I'm not having children. I'm asexual and also just not inclined toward the care of very small younglings. And sure, it's personally less stressful for her to not worry about her blood-related grandkids. But what about everyone else's kids and grandkids? My mother thinks she gets to opt out of caring because I'm not having kids. But the world is not going to end just because I'm not having kids. And while she finds it admirable that I'm thinking about the next 7 generations after me, she just doesn't care. It's not just a lack of imagination, it's fear, and it's apathy. We've romanticized disaster to the point that we're numb to it. We find it to be such an inevitable outcome, we're just sort of vaguely relieved to avoid anticipated disasters. Our escapist fictions are disasters, and capitalist mega-series about disasters. Our realities are disasters upon disasters with leaders who profit from disasters. We've tricked ourselves out of dreaming better realities.